So next thing then, we're going to look up here. If you notice, there's a couple of arrows that prompt you to do that. I mean, if you saw earlier, I did it. I just dragged it down and teased you all. But yeah, what that does is it brings down a lot more options of editing options and tools that you can use within Logic. But we're not going to concentrate on that at the moment. We're going to look at the transport bar at the very top. So if I go up to here and click on the little drop-down menu here, just on the right-hand side, Beats and Projects comes up, which is usual what Logic starts with. And this is just all little things that Logic might help you. You know, it might help you improve your flow and everything else, like I said a few times earlier. So what I would do is, if you're going into time, you could go into time. So instead of what we did earlier, if you're really working on film, if you're working on like radio stuff, if you're really sort of time sensitive, you could have that. And you can also have you can I think if you double click, oh no, that's to change it, but there's a way you can also have that really large. You know, you could have it, I think if I go up to here and go to window and go to there's time, there's some I can't remember because I barely use it, but transport float, there we go, there's open transport float, and you can have this, and then you can set this one totally different. So I could have that one as time, and then I could you know, create that and put that wherever I wanted, just like that. I mean, it might be handy for you guys, it might not, but it just replicates the old desks when they used to have the time signature, the time of the track at the top. But I don't look at that, I just leave it. So what I do is I go to custom, I open this up, and it gives you a whole plethora, good word, of information all about the Logic settings. So I'll go into custom, and when you go into custom, then go down to customize control bar and display, click on that, it opens up all this. So first thing I'm going to look at is a really cool thing is the vary speed, which is really useful, especially if you're working on a project and then like an A&R comes along and goes, oh, we love it, but it's like 5 BPM too slow or 5 BPM too fast. So what I'm going to do is just set up the vary speed one first and show you guys how to do that. So you'll notice a little plus and minuses come up here. That's to engage it. So if you click on that, and then if you go to the if you click on if you just click on the side there, it comes up with a percentage, which I was using for a while, and I didn't realize that you could have a result in tempo. But percentage, I used to get 125 in a calculator and then try and work it out, 125 BPM minus so many percent to try and get the correct speed, which was a bit more difficult. But now there's result in tempo, so you can put that in. So the BPM will be the BPM of that. So right, if I just go to if I play this, oh, there we go. Right, so if I put in 120, say, if I put that in, the vary speed, and now hopefully when I play this, it'll play in 120 without having to change the whole project, you know, without having to change all the things. And now if I take it off, so it's really cool if you just want to get an idea of like how your track would sound, you know, and the way Logic does it is really cool. It actually does it really well. There's programs like Isotope RX, which are great for things like this. But if you just want to quick see how your track sounds, or you know, you never know, a vocalist might say, oh, I want to record it faster, and then we'll slow it down, or I might want to put a rapper over it or something like that. So I'll just do it like 200, and let's see how it sounds now. There. Not that I'd ever do that unless I was making Spanish techno and gabba. So yeah, so that's really useful. If you've never seen that in Logic, you might have been experienced like I am, and then, you know, one year I just read a manual for the first time ever, and I was like, oh, I never knew that, you know. So going back to the customized control bar, right, there's a couple of things in here that are really useful. So the capture recording is amazing. I use that quite a lot. I'll show you what that is. So if I just open up, I'll just open up a new, if I go over to here and select that, which brings back down your channels. You can also do this another way by double clicking in there, and what that'll do is duplicate the one above it, so anything you've got there. So if I have a software instrument, say with EFM bass like that, and then I clicked underneath that one, again it'd bring up another instrument. So whatever you've got above it, it'll create there. So that's something to save a bit of time sometimes if you want to just I mean, you can just hit that one as well. So if you want to duplicate that, you can just duplicate exactly the same settings what are on that which is on that channel. So anyway, going back to the capture recording. So I've got, what I'm going to do is just open my my keyboard. I've got one here. So my keyboard's there. I'm just going to go over to the instrument, put on the AFM one. There we go. Just lower that down so you can save your eardrums. So just so it's a bit bigger, what I'll do is another little tip for you is if you highlight the audio there and press Command and R, it'll just repeat the audio, so I can repeat that over to there. So I've got a bit more of an area to record in, so I'll just do that. So just get that off, don't need an extra. And what the capture record does is, if you're I don't know, you and your friend are just jamming away, like so I'll just play the track. I'll play, well, the loop, not a track yet, and I'll just be jamming with that selected, like that. And then you play something that you could never ever play again in your life. You're like, that's amazing, I wish we'd have recorded it. That's what the capture recording does. So if you notice at the top, it's added a little extra record here on the capture recording there. So if I just hit that button, what it does is almost like time machines. It goes back and it remembers the last things you played. So if between when you press start and stop, you know, I could have had that loop going for like 2 hours and I could just be playing it and playing it and playing it. But the issue you would have had is the MIDI would have overlaid on itself, so you wouldn't have had as much, you know, it'd been harder to edit after, or you'd have lost that moment because it'd have been laid with everything else. So say, for example, you could have, you know, you could do that for like, I don't know, 20 minutes or an hour. You could just duplicate that out there. You could just jam away for so long and then capture record if you hit it, and then you can go and it's got exactly what I played in there. So I've got that piece of MIDI so that, you know, the moment wasn't lost, it was rescued. So worst playing of ever, but it was just an example to show you guys. I'm not a piano teacher, I'm a music producer. Well, kind of, they do cross, but I can't play the keys. So that, just to clear that up early on, I'm not the best key player, but you don't have to be. I mean, you know, we've got computers and there's so much good software and everything else, and with me just showing you there's things you can do with this logic alone that's just amazing, and it can even make you sound like you're an amazing pianist or producer. So all right, anyway, I digress again. Going back to here, go up to customize. Right, so there's a couple of things. Sometimes a lot of people will get latency in Logic, and they'll say, oh, when I press a key it's a bit late. And I used to do, especially when I used to have my old dog of a Mac Tower that I had 10 years, I was like, I'm not giving up on this thing, I'm going to keep it forever. And 10 years later I was getting more and more latency, and I found that the better plugins come out and everything else, I needed it, so I needed to use this mode. So low latency mode, and even if your project starts getting really busy, it's really good to have this, because as you'll find, as the project goes on, there's a lot going on, the computer's got a lot more strain on it. So low latency mode does exactly what it says it is, and what you do is you just hit that there, like I showed you on the vary speed, and then this disables any plugins while you're recording in. So while I was playing this, while I'm playing that, it disables any down that you've got on the processing, so that it frees it up from the computer, just so you can get your MIDI in, get everything down, get it tight, and then put your processing back on by undoing that. So that's cool to have on there if you want to put that on there. So there's a lot of other things in there which I you know, like auto punch and things like that. I've never really used software monitoring and all them kind of things. I don't really use those. The main thing for me was capture recording, vary speed, and also there's one thing that I've missed. It is, let me look for it. It's not actually in this one. It is in this bar here. So the bar underneath, let's move over to this. This is quite useful. Otherwise I won't put it there, but it is useful. Like like say for example, I love the track, but I don't really like this section in it. You can use these areas here. You can like cut sections, insert silence. So so if I was to just delete all that, I don't want to go 4 days on. Let's have a look. Delete that. Go back to here. Right. So yeah, so if I was thinking, oh, I want my breakdown to be say around this section, I'm going to insert silence. So you can insert silence, you can cut section. So then what that would do is it would move this area to there. So if I cut that section, it just moves it. So you can kind of use it as like a bit of a crop thing, and like as well if you want to repeat. So say on this bit, I might just want to repeat that hi-hat. I could just do that and then just press repeat section, similar to Command and R. Or insert section, but you can also set locators from the area you selected. So if I had a lot of, like I had all these hi-hats there, I would think, oh, I want to select those, or I just want to listen to a region. I just want to listen to say that area there, get a loop on there. That's quite handy. Zoom, you know what zoom is, and then the color palette, which is useful because what you might have done is that might be the same that kick drum on there, but you might have rendered it, processed it differently. You can just change the colors. So it's also good for housekeeping while you're making, you know, complex tracks. You can kind of know that that's different. What I tend to do is I just do that and then change the color, knowing it's slightly different there, because then when you're zoomed right out, you can remember that you've done something different to the audio. There's that there. The colors is useful in the settings. Within the settings, if you really wanted to do, if people have seen or used live, you can have it where the colors of each channel will go down the rainbow, and there's various you can have big like larger shades. So you could have, you know, like say 24, or you could have 48, or as many, and it'd go shades in between each one. You can do that if you want to get into the color thing. I'm sure I don't want to go over that now, but you can do it so when you drag your audio in, they all change color. I just preferably don't. I did at one point, but then after a while it was driving me crazy because there was too many colors. So I just like to pick my own, normally the most vibrant, just so that I know that the standout pieces in the track. Just wanted to let you know these videos are absolutely free. It's a 5-hour tutorial series, and that was one of the parts. So thanks for watching. If you would like to join the journey, subscribe. I've also got a playlist where I travel the world, and I also document it. I do vlogs, and the weird and wonderful world of a touring artist, the highs and lows and everything like that. So if you want to see that as well, I'll put a link below. But also the educational stuff, the mixing and mastering services are also in the description below. Thanks again for watching. Your subscription means a lot to me, and keep creative, keep making the tunes, keep, you know, pushing on, support each other. Much love. GAWP out.